What's up, everyone? Welcome to Power Play with CJ. Today, I want to focus in on the future of Thomas Vanek, which is a really, really intriguing question at this point because you got to say, you know, it's up in the air. You know, he's definitely not going back to Montreal. That's a foregone conclusion. But you know, you could go any one of a number of places. I think the Minnesota Wild, everyone seems to have as a foregone conclusion, but that may not fit. You know, where does he fit into that lineup? You know, what does it do with the cap room? I know these contracts come off the books, but you have a ton of young talent you need to re-sign, and you know, Parisi and Suter's contracts are both, you know, in excess of $90 million. Kind of tough to, you know, swallow that, but I think, you know, would he go back to the Islanders? I don't think that bridge is completely burned. I think it's a long shot, but it's something to think about. Here in San Jose, given the way they flamed out in the first round and Vanek no-showed in the playoffs, probably not the best marriage to happen, you know. But, you know, that's something to think about as well. But, you know, I think Detroit could be in on him. And the Florida Panthers, I say it every time there's a big name free agent, but they got cap room. They need scoring. Maybe that's the fit for him, you know. And again, he's the only team I'd rule out is Montreal at this point because he ain't going back there and dealing with Terry. Let's be honest with ourselves. But, you know, I personally think if they wanted to make a splash, Vanek would be the guy to do it. You know, he's obviously played on some good teams, played on some bad teams. And, you know, it's like the scene in Wolf of Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio says, I've been poor and I've been rich, and I choose to be rich every single time. It's like that with playing on a winning team. You know, I think anyone would rather, you know, be on a perennial contender. And, you know, the Panthers have some very good young talent in the organization. You know, in Barkov, Huberdeau, Bukestad, Gabranson, guys like that. So if they take steps forward, that's something to keep an eye on. But, you know, it's I don't think it's as foregone a conclusion that he's going to Mini as people think it is. I liked the fit, but I was never as, oh my god, it's gonna happen. Like, you know, it just wasn't the way I looked at it. Because you also have to have a worldview of there being 29 other teams in the NHL, and they can all offer different things. And, you know, just because he's in Minnesota in the offseason, if every player that went to Minnesota in the offseason signed with the Wild, the Tampa Bay Lightning wouldn't be going through the Ryan Malone fiasco that they are now. So, you know, that's just the way it this is the way it goes. And, you know, to just limit yourself to one option is stupid as a player. You know, you want to be in a competitive market. You want teams bidding for your services, and that was going to happen anyway. You know, I think you're naive to say he was going to sign with Minnesota for whatever. It's like, no, that's not how it works. You know, I think his agent would have been on, you know, suicide watch. Go, my biggest client's going to take a lot less money. Not going to happen. But, you know, that's something to keep an eye on. I really think the situation will develop more so in the next month. But maybe a team trades a low-level pick to have exclusive negotiating rights with him. Wouldn't rule that out because, again, his future in Montreal is over. So, in terms of teams you can rule out, Montreal, Buffalo, the Islanders. Even though I don't think the Islanders are dead yet in terms of bringing him in, but that would be that might cause Twitter to break. So we'll see what happens. But Minnesota, Florida, there'll be options for him. LA, we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's talking some sort of the power play with CJ on Thomas Vanek's future in the NHL. Stay tuned for episodes through the playoffs and beyond. Later, guys.